Hi Exiles! I hope everyone's having a happy holiday season and enjoying gaming. I ended up taking a bit of time away from Path of Exile over the last few months, mostly because I started a new job that gave me less free time to play. I recently jumped back into Path of Exile for 3.27, and it felt really good to play again. It's a bit later in the league than I normally like for making videos, but this is my only time off. So today I wanted to start with my favorite build I'm playing right now, which is my Summon Flame Golem Elementalist. There were a lot of versions of this build floating around. Some were Chaos Inoculation, some were Life Stacking, and they all looked strong in their own way. At the time, the CI versions felt a little too expensive for where I was in the league, so I started with the Life Stacking version that Captain Lance posted. I got it up and running, and to be clear, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that build. It works, but for me personally, it just didn't feel very old man friendly. Even with the new Bloodline buffer, I still hated playing Dissolution of the Flesh. After that, I decided to try converting the build over to CI, thinking that might solve some of the issues I was having. It worked mechanically, but again, it still wasn't feeling right. Probably an old man issue. So at that point, I decided to just sit down and make my own. By this time, I had already farmed a good amount of currency with my Animate weapon build, which helped a lot. You might see I'm running Mage Blood and Progenesis here. Those mostly help me be more lazy, but the core of the build still works great with a good Stygian Vice and a health potion. I designed this to be a quick and comfortable mapper. I can run tier 17 maps, as you can see here, without any real issues. There are a few mods you'll want to avoid, but honestly, that's true for almost every build in the game. While mapping, you're sitting at around 31 million damage, which feels great for clear and overall pace. Boss damage is a bit lower, about 25 to 27 million, swapping out greater multiple projectiles for slower projectiles. I don't need to change gems running T16s though. Let's watch the rest of the boss fight, and I'll go over what I did. As you can see, the build is very forgiving if I happen to not move the right way. Anyway, let's start with the gear. Same as most, I'm wearing a Dark Monarch for the maximum number of Summon Golems is doubled. I get 9 elsewhere, and this brings the total up to 18. It is nice if you can get one with Corrupted Life, but not necessary. Chaos Resistance is always nice, and the +1 to minion gems is not bad either. Next, I am using a replica Dragonfang's Flight. Be sure you get one that has +3 to level of Summon Flame Golem gems. I almost got the wrong one when I was buying it. Again, a corruption that works for you is great, but not necessary. Since I wanted my Flame Golems on my chest for the 6th link, I went with Brass Dome. Not only do they have a lot of armor, but they can give you up to +5 to maximum resistances, and you will not be taking any extra damage from critical strikes. This chest is a beast for our defenses. Right now, you can buy one with +2 to minion gems for 1 to 2 divines. As for the rings, I try to get as much minion benefiting stats as I could. Minion life, minion resist, minion attack/cast speed, minion damage, and just a bit of life for me. Now for the weapon, I'm using the Foulborn Midnight Bargain. This gives 2 more golems, which ends up being 4 more with the helmet. And the little bit of life/energy shield loss per minion is easy to overcome with a little life regeneration on gear. So, as you will see, I went for as much life as I could get, with some life regeneration and life regeneration rate on the gloves, and you'll probably need some dexterity on the gloves as well, since we don't get a lot of dexterity nodes on the tree. And I went for the same life mods on the boots as well. Now my shield was a great find. High block chance, scorch enemies when you block them, Recover 5% of life when you block and gain random charges is awesome when I get endurance charges, which is often. As for our Ascendancy, as an Elementalist, most of the nodes apply to us and not our minions. Mastermind of Discord applies a good bit of extra exposure, but we have to apply it. Then Shaper of Flames is like wearing Cloak of Flame. 40% of physical damage is converted to fire damage. Just ask anyone running Righteous Fire. This is an amazing defensive buff. Ignite is extra damage. Shaper of Storms applies Shock, which amplifies all damage. And then Liege of the Primordial is where a lot of magic happens for our golems. Elemental Immunity, increased buff effects. 2 more golems, and they automatically come back 4 seconds after they are killed. When you have 18 golems, this is awesome. Alright, let's talk about how we get the most from our Ascendancy. First, since we're the ones that have to hit to ignite, shock, and make sure that physical damage against us is reduced, I chose to use Wave of Conviction because it hits a nice wide cone in front of you. My golems are so strong, I only use this on tough rares. On bosses, of course, and maybe when I am in dense areas in juiced maps. I took Eldritch Battery on a tree, so I could use all of my mana for auras. I never have issues having enough energy shield to cast. I run Vitality, Purity of Elements, Anger, Flesh and Stone, and Automation for Steel Skin and Convocation, so my minions are always where I need them, with me. Now in the background, I will show me running through a T16 while my minions destroy everything for your entertainment while I go over a couple of other details. You will see in the POE that I am using a Voices Jewel. This is purely quality of life and not necessary. You do want to try to fit as many Primordial Harmony jewels as you can, but you won't be that far off if you are 2 or 3 jewels less. You also want the Anima Stone jewel for the additional golem, if you can. If not, you would still have 13 flame golems, and that would still be plenty to put out a ton of damage. For your large cluster, life is a luxury, but minions have increased cast/attack speed is a must as well as attributes, as you will probably still need some dexterity and intelligence, especially if you run tattoos. With my gem setup, I found Runegraft of Gemcraft to be very powerful. It added quite a bit of damage for me. I really like the feel of high block chance, especially with a shield that gives life on block. I did not put any points in a Flame Link because I found it to be a pain in the butt. It definitely will put more damage out, but with a little added currency, I got closer to the damage without another thing to manage. I would love to hear if you guys did anything else with this build that is working great for you. For me, this build checks all the boxes for being old man proof. Until next time, take care and happy gaming. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.